Hello! Welcome back to the channel for another Hytale building video. I've been working my way through all of Hytale's zones with a build in each one, and now it's time for the final zone, number 4. I wanted to pick something appropriate for the setting, so I've chosen to build an evil wizard's tower using some of the spookier blocks in the game. It's going to be tall and imposing and have loads of detail, but first, I need to fly on over to zone 4 and find a good location. Okay, Zone 4 is amazing. It's easily my new favourite zone. I cannot believe the diversity of the biomes and how cool everything looks. I think this area right in front of me, right in front of these big old lava mountains, is going to be the perfect location for my evil wizard's tower. So to get started, I think I need to do some planning of where the tower will go and what the terrain around it will look like. So the first few time lapses are going to focus on the terrain and laying out the plan. Okay, so we've just had a few time lapses of changing the terrain, and now this area looks a bit different, and there's a lot more lava. Sticking out of the lava are these 4 big tentacles I've made out of slightly more purplish blocks, and my thinking behind this was that there's a big lava monster in the lake under the tower, and perhaps the evil wizard has control of the lava monster and uses these tentacles to defend the tower. These extra spikes that I've added around, mixed with the tentacles, really create a load of dynamism in this area, and some of that was already present with the spikes that exist in the normal terrain generation, so we've just added a bit more to it, and it's looking very nice and spiky and detailed. I added these small rocky areas sticking out of the lava to look like the magma's breaking away from the edges and drying up a bit. The middle tower is going to be located where this big old circle is in the middle, and I created branching platforms to approach the tower from all sides. But this one here is going to be the main entrance, and this is going to be how you walk up. There'll be a path on this that walks up to the entrance of the tower. The tower itself is going to be really tall. That's the block height limit, but I don't think I'm going to go quite that high. Now it's time to start the tower, so let's get into some time lapses of building that up. Now I finally have the structure of a tower, and it just keeps going up, 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 and up. Those tiny little blocks you can see up there are actually the world height limit, so this isn't far off world height. In the last bit of time lapse, you'd have seen I was just working on the front, and off camera a bit, I just had to fix that up because I was just staring at it for too long and couldn't get the ideas out, and now I've managed to do that. This is what the front looks like, and I've decided to use black wood to help me with the detailing. The tower is really nice and big, and I added these slightly less rounded bits here that will just add a bit of difference. And then at the top, obviously I've done this huge spiry structure with these kind of sharp looking prongs and these nice spiky gothic points. And I think that will help make the tower look really evil from any angle and from a distance. The main body of the tower is still looking a little bit flat, so I think it's time that we go in and we just keep working on details, details, details the whole way up the tower. I'm thinking there's going to be windows and platforms and all kinds of texture and detail and little walkways and maybe even little extended windows that come out and all kinds of things like that. Oh wow, the detail has made a really huge difference to the tower. I can't really quite believe how cool it looks now. There's so many little spiky bits that make it look evil. It's so cool. And yeah, some of the details that I've added include these red fiery logs that kind of look like red gemstones. And then we've got some little window areas. We've got all kinds of wooden details around. We've got rooftops. We've got spiky bits on balconies. We've also got hanging cages up here. And we're going to move up to the top section of the tower next and detail all of this, because at the moment this is just the structure. Towards the base of the tower, there is still some work that needs to be done, and I need to figure out what I want to include here. And I think I should give some attention to the tentacles. I don't want to leave the tentacles plain like this, just one block. I need to add in a couple of variations of different blocks. This front area of the tower also needs to be made more impressive, because as you walk up to the tower, you want a really impressive view and some really cool scenery here, just to make it even more atmospheric. So I think I'm going to move into the last few bits of time lapses and work on some of the final details. And then what we'll do is we'll go straight into the cinematic shots. And then after the cinematic shots, I'll do a little bit of a walkthrough of the tower, just so you can get an idea of how all the floors work. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed those flyover clips. Now it's time for the tour, and the tour starts outside the tower in this spooky arch area that I made that helps you get a real feel of the vibe and the impression of how evil this place is as you walk up to the tower. The tower is really big. There are these really cool lava tentacles, and I think they're from some giant lava beast that lives deep under the lava pool here. If we go up towards the tower, we can see I have a guard. This is Jerry. He's skinny. Anyway, this is the door. And you go in, and I'm met by my butler and my biggest fan. And then, basically, this lower floor is a library, and there's a lot of detail. I made sure that there was lots of details on all the roofs, so that everywhere you look, something is exciting and grabbing your eye. So yeah, we have a library, and we have spooky statues, and we have lava pools, and yeah, we have all kinds of books and spider webs. And then if we go downstairs, this area down here is like storage and a bit of a blacksmithing and crafting area. So this area here is where all of the evil minions will craft all of their evil gear, like this, and maybe with this. And then over here, they store all the ore, which is cool. Lots of ore to be stored. And then there's crystal storage too. And then there's all kinds of sort of generic storage over here. And then over here, there's a small shrine to a big statue and a nice table. And there are doors that lead out here onto the little pathways. So you can enter the tower from a different direction, which is cool. Now, if we head up the stairs instead of down the stairs, we'll start making our way up the tower to the next level. And this floor was really hard to decide, but in the end, I went for a kind of like a guard living area. So there are some beds to sleep in, there are some tables to eat at, and my guards, at the moment of which there are only 2, and one of them is also a gunner, by the way. This guy is also a gunner. Lots of gunners. And then a magic person, skeleton, just hanging out. Always lots of balconies. We have so many balconies in this build to look at the majestic lava mountain volcanoes and also other things. And then there is a lovely curved stairway all the way up to the next floor, which is only a part floor in a way because I didn't fill out the whole thing. I kind of wanted walkways and balconies for one floor. And so that's what I did here. There's just some chests and some windows and a way to get out to the side balconies here. I wanted to make sure that every balcony you could access in some way. And then up the stairs is the kitchen. And the kitchen has the chef. Hello, chef. And there's lots of food around. I didn't realize you could place all this food, but you can actually place it on things. So we've got lots of placed food around. We've got some chef stoves, and we've got lots of shelves and barrels. Obviously, there's loads of balconies. 4 balconies on the chef level. I don't know why. But then we go up the stairs, and we keep going. And now it's the bedroom. And here, Lorelei is getting her beauty sleep. And then we have another empty bed, which is mine. And we have a giant fish on the table, and we have wardrobes, and all the kind of things you'd need to help you sleep. Like some reading material as well. Up the stairs to the next place, we have the prison floor. Now, this is the floor where all the hanging prison cages are. And in here, there are 2 cages. We have an unfortunate knight, and we also have a penguin. A tiny penguin. It's a bit mean to have a penguin as a prisoner, but yeah. He shouldn't have got himself caught. On the next floor is the lab. And this is where the alchemist skeleton, or minion, makes up all of his concoctions and potions. And he is littered with loads of potions. And this whole place has all the materials you'd need to make anything and everything evil in a potion. Green and red potions are only allowed here. No other potions. If we take the ladder up to the top, then at the top floor of the tower is the magic area. This is where the summoning and rituals and all the evil magic happens. So there's a statue, there are different potions, there is a magic altar, there are some magical plants, which aren't really magical plants, but I'm saying these are magical plants. There is a portal to an alternate world, and there's even a cool roof with weird, like, blood vine things. I just thought it looked really cool, so wanted to do that. Plus, the roof has kind of like living fire within it, which I kind of like. If we take a look at that, you can see that there's a bit of heat coming off the roof here with some of these red blocks I've been using as detail. And yeah, it makes the whole place look really nice. So this is a really cool top to the tower where you could imagine fighting the final boss in a big wizard fight. So that's a quick tour of the tower. I hope you've got an idea of all the floors and how that works. And as I fly out now, I think it's time to move to the outro. So there you have it. This is my evil wizard tower build, and it's the 4th and final build of my initial 4 builds where I'm doing the zones of Hytale. From now on, I can go to any zone and build anywhere that I want, depending on whatever I feel like building. I really hope you enjoyed watching me build the tower. I've got a fantastic idea for my next video, so I hope you'll join me for that one. See you next time.